So I won't say too much of who the person was and etc. They got a little upset when I had screenshotted their photos last night. I didn't know that you can you would get like called out for screenshotting photos and stuff on like Snapchat, but I had a very nice experience last night. It was very liberating. It was very freeing, and obviously, it was between two consensual adults, and it was a very, liberating experience, and was something that I wanted to experience for just to experience and say I experienced it. I don't know if I would try it again or not, but it was very liberating. It was very much a liberating experience and stuff like that, and somebody kind of healed some deep wounds that were there for almost like 7 years now because I brought it up to this female that I was almost like friends with my family and stuff like that, who I met through a mental health program here in town that had some serious it's for people that supposedly have some serious type of mental illness and stuff like that, but the relationship with her went sour, and it went sour fast and etc. to the point that there were certain things said that had caused all these rifts and different things, and like me being bullied and stuff now by other black men and stuff like that because of how she wanted to handle it and how she wanted to set certain people off and etc., which kind of created some of the feuds and some of the stuff I'm dealing with to this day that some people say they're gonna have a right to do because people are gonna have a right to do what they want to do and to consent to what they want to consent with their bodies and time and etc. But I experienced something. If I told you what it was, I mean, some people are go hear the word and they're gonna be like, "Well, what? They're gonna like freak out at me and stuff like that." But let me just be honest and say I experienced kind of this race play situation last night. So I experienced this kind of race play situation last night because somebody actually openly saw one of my dating profiles. I have like 5 dating profiles, and this black guy basically saw it and said, "Hey, would you like to like talk for a minute and maybe get to know each other through Snapchat or something and have a really open and real conversation about about each other and stuff like that?" And it pretty much led down some doors. I'm not going to say exactly what, but it pretty much led down some doors and some things, and I mean, and it led to the whole race play experience thing because they gave me the consent to actually do that. So I said, okay, well, I mean, and I even told them before that somebody had looked down on me for actually even trying to mention, the whole topic and trying to find out what it's about and trying to find out whether it's what the deal is as a black person to understand what the hell race play is even about. But apparently, at this point, I think there's people who don't like race play and there's people that do like race play. So, it's just a matter of who likes it and who doesn't, and some people are going to be more private and more confidential about it. But I did just have an experience. I mean, it's my first experience. Of actually having a race play experience with another black man. But it was a very liberating and consensual, freeing experience. It kind of was healing in a way too from a lot of traumas and things that had happened over the last 7 or 8 years because of like mental health program stuff and people from the mental health program and stuff like that who've obviously wanted to twist things and play on my traumas and my pain and etc. to make things out to be a lot more dramatic and drama-ish and bullshit-ish than it needed to be. But obviously because she couldn't handle that. It's like the same thing with her when she was like saying to me too. It's like, well, I fuck the barnyard or I fuck horses or something like that. It's like who wants to fucking hear that, But I mean, mine's more sane because it's more between humans, not animals. It's like, but yet I was the one who was looked at as the creep because I'm the one who actually had just mentioned. I was just trying to find out, like, well, what from another black person, what's the deal on that? How do you feel about that? What's the deal on the situation? But apparently, I created my own experience by trying to put myself out there and say, look, I'm interested in trying. I may be interested in trying this race play experience and to see how things would go. And I tried it last night. I'm going to say I tried it last night, and I felt very liberated. And stuff like that. Obviously, I was the one in control, and It felt very liberating. I felt very good to be kind of more dominant in a situation where I'm not always, people don't always consider me the dominant type and stuff like that. But, it was good. It felt good. It felt good, and it felt really, it felt really great to do. I mean, obviously people are going to look down on it because obviously if you know what race play is, it's a very controversial and taboo subject. But some adults and some people are out there doing it, and some people are out there, consenting to it and stuff like that. So, but I did have my first race play experience, and I'm still trying to come down from the high, because I had this like huge high after the whole thing had happened, and I had like this huge high in my whole head and my whole situation. I was in this really big high of like my emotions and stuff like that. So I'm coming down from the high, and I'm trying to get more grounded a little bit. I'm trying to get more grounded with it, but obviously, I'm not going to say who it is or post anything about who it was or etc. But I will say that somebody was nice enough. I don't even know if this is a fake profile, just trying to get some shit off of me and stuff like that, and get me to say I like race play or whatever else. But all I could really say is I never experienced race play up until last night, and this is like it was my first race play experience. That it happened. It's, supposedly with a black man, but I say supposedly because I don't even know who the fuck I'm talking to on the other end of what you call it. But I mean, I've seen pictures and stuff, but who knows? Who knows what the fuck you're talking to? But regardless, I try to go out on a limb and trust somebody, and I try to, go to a safe space, and it was good. It was a really good experience. It was actually, I mean, I don't want to get people scared that I'm going to be completely racist or something, or I'm going to be racist, but I can tell you that, the whole race play experience was not actually a bad thing. It was liberating. It was liberating. It was a thing that I think I needed to experience, maybe personally at this time of my life. Especially with different things. I think, nothing happens as by accident. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing happens as late or as soon as it's supposed to. God's timing is God's timing. But it's ironic that God kind of just said, hey, like after I let certain people go and stuff like that, and I had to let go of like the artist stuff and stuff like that. Somebody actually got sent my way, and actually started talking to me about the whole race play thing. So, it happens when you put yourself out there. I was honest on my profiles. I said maybe into race play, interested in finding out more about this whole race play topic and stuff like that. And let's put it this way, I found out some shit. So, I was talking to somebody else too. I was like, just because you experience race play, or you're trying to do this role play that people might consider to be a more racist or a little bit more taboo or whatever else, does that really make you a racist, or does that make you somebody who's just having a role play type fantasy that you're trying to role play between two consenting adults? I mean, obviously people are going to get very blurry down the lines, because some black people will be like, well, that's racist and blah 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 blah, but for me, it's just like, what the fuck? I don't even give a fuck anymore. I'm just like, I think now that I've experienced it with somebody, and I was actually in a safe place, I think I'm I'll say it openly to everybody that I experienced it. I mean, it's no joke. I mean, I just messaged somebody last night and I said, I like black men too, but not in the same way that you do. So, and I meant that too. And I also told them about my experience. I said, hey, I wasn't in this consenting, safe consensual relationship thing last night, and I kind of experienced this whole situation with such and such, but they never got back to me. They posted on some of my posts, but they never fully got back to me on the situation and stuff like that. Maybe they were starting to get back to me on some of my posts, but then they read what I had written finally, and decided they were feeling kind of some type of way. But I'm fine. I mean, if I lose people, they're obviously not the right people, and obviously people need to go. But will I experience this situation again? I don't know. I mean, it was a very good moment to, when you try something new sexually, or you try something new with confidence and with consensual consent and stuff like that, and all kinds of stuff, and it can be very liberating. It can be very liberating, to try new things and say, oh wow, I tried that, and it's it all depends. It all depends and stuff like that. It helped me get some anger issues out. I had some anger issues apparently that I needed to get out of the way, so I got those out of the way, and I'm feeling kind of good this morning. But And then what do I do? What I do afterwards is I just cut myself a couple pieces of Stromboli, and I'm just sitting there with with some Stromboli and some Coke, and I'm just like having a good old time for dinner, and well, it's just one of those nights. I had a really good night last night. You think my night actually sucked? It was actually great, Um, I'm very well aware, though, that not every black person or not every person is going to be into the whole race play thing and stuff like that. But, I mean, I wanted to experience it. I wanted to try it. I mean, obviously, the situation couldn't be done in person. The situation and stuff couldn't be done in person. But I did find somebody, I think, from where was it, New York or New Jersey, that actually just contacted me and said, hey, you have this, and this. I would like to talk to you about this. And that's kind of where kind of things led. It kind of led to us trying to maybe try out this experience. But, obviously New York and New Jersey is still kind of a far time away, depending on where you live and etc. So, but no, it was a very good experience, and I'm going to say it openly because my dating profiles are pretty much open about it. That yeah, I was at one point in time looking for this race play experience. Although it wasn't really hands on, or like that person was actually here with me, it was still kind of had some liberating moments and experiences as far as trying to experience something. I mean, it could be more liberating if it was more like hands-on, possibly, but I don't know, it's not like I expected to like have a conversation with a guy and the guy say, hey, I'm interested in maybe talking to you about this subject about your racial role play or something like that, or something like, etc. So, but I had I really did have a conversation with somebody last night. I have Snapchat messages about it now, so can't copy them or nothing, because obviously it's like a huge red flag. Anybody copies something, it's like they copy something, it gets screamed out that they're trying to copy shit, and if I try to copy something, they try to, but they wanted to do it in a safe space, and I was like, you know what, this is not that bad. Whoever this is, I mean, I don't know who they are, and I don't know if this is a fake profile or what it is, but it's somebody who wanted to get me to trust them and stuff like that, or wanted me to trust them to, because they wanted to give me a safe space or a safe haven to try to experience something. I don't know. I don't know if people are going to look at me as a traitor or whatever, or a racist, or what they're going to look at me as, but it's like, whatever at this point. I've already lost multiple artists and multiple people and stuff like that, and it's basically just a role play. It's basically just a role play that some people can consider kind of racist and stuff like that, where, but it's between two consenting adults, so I can't necessarily tell you that the other person did not consent, or, I even talked to that person about, are you really going to consent to this? Is this really going to be okay? And it's like, yeah, it was. So apparently it was, and apparently that's the road I took. So but I'm feeling good. Oh, and to this morning, not even like 20 minutes ago, I just threw out the garbage. Yes, the garbage in those Stromboli boxes. The leftover Strombolis back in my fridge. But as of this morning, I threw out those boxes and stuff like that. And guess what? This is ironic. I meet a black woman, a nice, pretty black woman with like glasses and stuff like that, looking really, really cute in the elevator. Because I get in the elevator, this black woman, just really cute and stuff like that. And I was talking to her and kind of flirting a little bit, and then right before she left, I tried to introduce my name really quick. I said, oh, by the way, I'm Carl, and she's like, I'm Hope. I met a freaking black lady named Hope, okay? Is that weird? I think that's weird, I think that's weird that it's a black woman named Hope would pop up, at a time where I was almost not experiencing a lot of hope and stuff, and then all of a sudden situations and things are kind of changing, situations and things are changing for the better a little bit, but it's a roller coaster, things are usually up and down, or things are what they are, but I'm good. I'm having a great ass time. I am more than happy. I am more than happy right now to at least say I've tried something. I'm not sure if I would try it again. I'm not sure if anybody would consent to that again, but it's kind of like my position. I mean, I complain all the time about my next door neighbor, fucking my frenemy, when she was pregnant and stuff like that. But it's like my experience too. I mean, I did that when I was like 23. There was a pregnant black woman in Torrington, and I let her basically use me and fuck me like a fuck boy, and etc. To the point that turned out to be pretty bad too. But I mean, we all have our experiences, and we all have the things that we experience, especially as men and women and etc. But I mean, at first I was like, it sucks that, I have to deal with people, cause, all these women not consenting to the fact that I can, not consenting to something that I wish they could consent to for me or something, or can give me more of a consent level or something like that, or at least try to not play these, not try to be so open with other bodies and stuff with consent, but hey, I think I just got the ultimate revenge. I just tried race play last night. So I don't know. I mean, I could do a whole lot more. I could do a whole lot more worse. I could do a whole lot more better. We never know. We never know which direction this is going to go. But we'll find out, huh? We'll find out. But I'm in a great mood. I'm smiling. When do you ever see me smile? I smile very rarely, but I'm smiling. I'm like smiling about it. I'm like so fucking happy. It's not funny. So, I don't know. It was liberating. It was liberating, and I definitely released some tensions. So, but I'm good. I'm good. But anyways, this is the topic of the day. I see all these. I see all of everybody talking about sex. I see all these cosplayers and people talking about sex and posting about sex. I rarely post about sex or talk openly about sex, right? So I'm at that point now where I'm just having this conversation where I wanted to talk openly about a race play experience I had last night. That, in a way, I mean, I don't know if the situation was liberating or just being able to express it was liberating, but. It's very hard to explain what exactly was liberating, but I felt very liberated after it happened. So, I don't know. But whether a black woman loves me or hates me for the fact that she finds out I'm into race play or something like that, I don't know what to tell you, because the way things are going, I'm starting to no longer be democratic or liberal. I'm kind of going more conservative, or going in the middle to be a little bit more conservative with my beliefs. So. I'm not saying I'm going full on, Republican or racist, but I'm at the point where I still kind of don't like how the liberals are handling things, and I definitely don't like how the far right is going to handle things either, because they're going to these extremes where people are really even the black community is really going to be, at harm's way and stuff like that. If people did that, people got involved with the far right and stuff like that. So it's just something I rather not see happen. I mean, I still love the black community. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's just like I'm in that place. I'm in that place, where I just don't feel like I'm gonna be that type of guy to say, oh, I'm liberal or oh, I'm democratic, because it's just not gonna happen anymore. I think there's a lot about feminism I don't like. There's a lot about a couple other different things that I've done my research on that I just don't like as somebody who's experienced it and had spent some years trying to support those things and etc. I've kind of learned that there's some things I don't like, but. It is what it is. People are going to fuck what they want to do. People are going to do what they want to do with the consent that they have and stuff like that. And who knows? I could have ended up talking to like a detective or something. The detective wanted to maybe just get some messages about me doing race play or something. Who knows? Who the fuck knows what the fuck I'm doing, But regardless, I felt very, I felt very liberated and stuff like that. So, but yeah. I'm getting offline because I got some other stuff to do. It's still very early, it's still very early. And I'm hoping I could see that black lady named Hope again. She was kind of cute, she was kind of cute. I almost wanted to, go over there and flirt with her. She was really kind of cute. But, I don't know. I'm going to just go chill at this point and do what I need to do and breathe. Breathe. Be happy. Breathe. Peace, 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 peace.